Stalker 2 is here, but it's not quite there yet. After half a year of non-stop patches, fixes and feedback loops from GSC Game World, fans are split. Is it a diamond in the rough or just rough? Let's quickly get straight into it, breaking down what many of you want to see in the Q3 roadmap. When it comes to sleep system, Stalker 2 has a basic sleep mechanic. Find a bed, choose how many hours you sleep, and time passes. That's it. There's no exhaustion meter, no fatigue, no status changes, just a way to skip the night or wait for something to happen. But some say you have reduced aim and slower reload times, and you do heal as you sleep, which is great. I just do not see the negative effects not sleeping for days. Sleep will remove Skiff's sleep deprivation, which you'll get if you go too long without sleeping. This is indicated by a moon icon on the lower left of your UI, where you can find the hunger and encumbered icons. No sleeping does not affect Skiff in any other negative ways. You'll only see Skiff yawn and close his eyes occasionally, which can be annoying. Still, it doesn't put you in life or death situations. Sleeping in the zone should be dangerous, but you never get ambushed, disturbed, or at risk if you rest in the wrong place. No connection between sleep and food, warmth or shelter. Sleep should be more than a fast forward button. In a world as harsh as the zone, it should be necessary and a risk. Do I rest in a sketchy abandoned house or push on through the night and risk an ambush? That's the tension players want. Staying awake too long should drain stamina, lowers aim stability even more than we normally see, and increases trauma chances. Visual effects like blurry vision, hallucinations or shaking hands will be great to see. It will be great to see bed quality and sleep is more effective in secure, warm or faction-owned locations, and resting outdoors, poor recovery, risk of disease or mutant interruption. In low security zones, carry a chance of enemies or mutants attacking mid-sleep. It'd be great to see fellow stalkers prepped with traps, companions or camouflage, and strategy sleep to avoid travelling during missions or at night. Some events or loot are time sensitive, sleep becomes a resource to manage. The PDA Personal Digital Assistant in Stalker 2 is your in-game hub, mission tracking, map navigation, inventory, stash access, notes and lore. It's your lifeline in the zone where information equals survival. There's no dedicated way to track faction activity, reputation, relationships or influence. But we do see positive, neutral or negative with factions in the map, but it's minimum. Despite factions being central to the world of Stalker, the game offers no visual overview of current faction standings, no log or past interactions, missions or betrayals, no way to see faction wars, territorial shifts or influence. A faction tab would add huge gameplay clarity and roleplay depth. It should include see your standing with every major faction with a visual bar or numeric scale. Other community requests include live updates on ongoing faction disputes, captured outposts and patrols, which areas are under control by a faction, timeline of recent developments, seeing power struggles in real time. I would love to see color-coded faction control zones on your main map, dynamic shifts as wars progress or missions succeeded, fail. The Stalker universe thrives on faction identity, betrayal and politics. Without a clear interface to reflect that, players are left detached from one of the most important gameplay systems. I can see improvements to this soon. When it comes to newly introduced mutant loot, rare mutants like chimeras, controllers, bloodsuckers should have valuable, unique parts. Traders should want mutant parts for medicine, research, or faction reputation. Prices should change by trader type, scientist versus arms dealer. It would be great to see the use of mutant parts in crafting, medikits, stims, and armor upgrades or ammo types. For example, bloodsucker glands for cloaking stems and boar tusks for blade upgrades. Mutant loot should tie into lore. Maybe a faction wants snark tissue for bioweapons, or scientists want to track generate mutations. If you played Days Gone, I would love mutant trophies with the optional collectibles for bases or reputation gain. Have some mutants drop different loot depending on weather or region, where mutant loot will matter. Every encounter becomes a choice. Do you risk the fight for a rare gland? Do you sneak past because it's not worth the cost? That's Stalker gameplay at its best. Tension, reward, survival. Scouting a distant camp with binoculars might be empty until you get close enough to spawn the enemies, and many players want the bubble size to increase. Most signs point to engine constraints and performance and the need to optimize for consoles. Simulating dozens of AI routines at long distances is CPU intensive, especially in Unreal Engine 5 with its high fidelity systems. But here's the thing, this is Stalker, the community wants that ambition. If it means fewer NPCs with smarter brains or a more staggered simulation system, that's a trade many would take. On console it could be limited, but it could improve over time. But give PC users a toggle or slider to expand the A-Life simulation distance. Even 200 to 300 meters would be a massive improvement. But for now, I can see this increasing to 150 meters of both PC and console. Let's talk about AI, because in the game like Stalker 2, where survival hinges on wise decisions and careful observations, bad AI can break the immersion. Right now, enemies are slow to react. When they first see you, you can pop out from behind cover, take a shot, and sometimes they'll just stand there, frozen. For a second too long, it's like they're waiting for a script to kick in. The moment they do engage, it's like flipping a switch. Suddenly, they have laser precision, no warm-up, no warning. Just snap, you're dead. That whiplash between dumb and deadly is jarring, and it kills the tactical feel of combat. Enemies also appear to struggle with effective communication and flanking. You might fight one guy behind a wall and the others just trickle in as they line up to get shot. There's no sense of coordinated tactics or using the environment smartly. No real group intelligence, and that breaks the immersion. In the original trilogy, enemies were scary because they behaved like survivors. They suppressed you, retreat, throw grenades, and hunt you down. In theory, stealth should be a viable approach in the zone, but right now it's borderline impossible. Enemies seem hyper aware of your presence, even when crouched, even at night, even from a distance, often reacting to the slightest noise like you're waving a flare. It doesn't end there. Once a single enemy catches wind of you, the entire camp goes full alert. Not just nearby patrols, we're talking everyone within radio range, instantly knowing your location like you're broadcasting public comms. There's no margin for error in most stealth games. There's a grace window, a moment where the enemy gets suspicious, investigates, and gives you time to react. Stalker 2 skips that. It's straight from her to he's there. Light him up in a blink. Worse still, you don't even have the tools to compensate besides a limited sound meter near the compass and sneak takedowns, which most of the time you cannot get close unless the AI goes to sleep. Modern stealth design doesn't have to hold your hand. It should reward patience and planning. Right now, the only stealth in Stalker 2 is killing everyone so they can alert the rest. In a game where survival depends on observation, watching patrol paths, spotting anomalies, tracking mutants, the lack of binoculars is a strange omission. Right now, your only option is a scoped weapon, but scopes limit your field of view and often put you at risk if enemies are nearby. Binoculars aren't just a zoom function, they're a situational awareness tool. They let you scout from safety, mark enemies, plan your route, and avoid unnecessary conflict. And yes, players are right, binoculars only shine when paired with a proper spawn bubble or AI draw distance. Otherwise, you're just zooming in on an empty space if they do not increase the bubble, but I can see this happening in the Q3 update. Then there's NVGs, night vision goggles, a critical part of the original trilogy's identity. Flashlights are fine for casual searching, but they're loud. They give away your position, they don't help when you're trying to sneak through hostile camps at 2 AM with a dog howling in the distance. In the older games, NVGs were a game changer. You had to earn them, they used battery power, they added immersion, and they made nighttime terrifying and tactical. Realistically, the fixes are coming slowly. GSC is juggling a lot. UE5 optimization, console limitations with mods now, bug bashing, and community requests. At some point, they have to pivot to DLC and free multiplayer, but I doubt we'll see DLC anytime soon. I expect a couple of new weapons, the RPD, which is a heavily rumoured weapon, focus on online range, pushing past the 100 meter bubble, more in-depth mutant looting, and maybe new NPCs and quests added, but time will tell. I hope to see the Q3 roadmap by the middle of July, but we got into the second month in Q2, May 5th, when the Stalker 2 Q2 roadmap was revealed. Consider subscribing for more Stalker 2 updates. I hope you enjoyed the video, a bit more in depth. I always try to get straight to the point with zero filler. I'll have more A-Life updates soon, and check out the recent testing on A-Life on screen now.